Welcome back to Close Encounters of the Tech Kind. Question: should your monitor install software without your permission and then serve you ads? We'll talk about that here in a second. We got a couple stories coming up that are going to answer that and a couple other things we think are interesting for not just us, but our viewers as well. You guys know what surveillance pricing is, right?
No, what's that?
Ooh, we got something to teach Mike on this one. We're also going to talk about Linus, the head developer for all of Linux. He's come out with a stance on AI that it's kind of controversial, but I think it makes sense. PlayStation, we're a little late to the conversation on this, but they have decided to obliterate their game offering. They will not sell discs anymore. I've got a controversial take on that too. And then Colorado, they got rid of some controversy with their speed cameras. They just came out with some new laws. I think those make sense since they're south of the border of us. We're just going to talk about that one too, because I would hate to get nabbed by a speed camera and not know my rights. So stay tuned for that. While we get into this, we've got Mike.
Hey, everybody.
We've got Jackson.
How'd you do?
And we've got Artie. He's running everything behind the scenes. You'll see him pop out from behind the monitor.
Sometimes.
Only when he's talking. So, LG monitors. You plug one into your computer. What does it do, Jackson?
Now, this isn't every single model, although in real time, people are discovering that more and more models are being kind of lumped into this pile. But there is especially prevalent on the line of, like, I think they're top models. I forget what they call them, the specific naming, but they're top, like, $1,200 monitor or $1,200 monitors. As soon as you plug it into your Windows, flagship models, thank you. As soon as you plug it into your PC, or Windows PC specifically, it will install the LG software, which, I mean, at that point, that's really nothing new. I feel like a lot of manufacturers are doing that. They have their own proprietary software that they will install. But on top of that, LG has partnered with McAfee, and it will install a McAfee application and give you a 30-day free trial just by plugging in your monitor.
You get to try all the ads for free for 30 days.
Right. And on top of that, this was covered at length by Gamers Nexus, and so I'm going to use a lot of kind of their discoveries, along with some from a lot of just the community out there. But essentially, as soon as you plug it in, you get this massive pop-up in the bottom right of your screen that will notify you, hey, the LG software has been installed. But then they found out that 31 out of 32 times that they tested it, they would boot it up and it would actually show a McAfee ad there. I mean, essentially an ad that's saying, oh, yeah, you can get your free trial on boot up. And the application that it installs, again, silently, it will install this McAfee application totally in the background, along with the LG. Same thing. And they're given basically total permissions of your computer. They checked like the Windows Defender permissions that each application was given, and both of them were allowed full access to use all the resources. So that means, in the background, it's allowed to do as much as it wants. And they also are given internet access. So not only is it adware, but it's also spyware.
Well, I've been waiting for this day to happen when a vendor violates the trust that they've been given. So when you plug in any device to your computer, the first thing it does is try and find the drivers for that device. And if it doesn't happen at a trusted level, you can't install that device. It can't install itself. It can't do the things it needs to do. So when you plug in that webcam, plug in that keyboard, you plug in a microphone, whatever it is, it installs software. This actually happened back in Windows 95 era. I forget the name of the application, but they got a lot of heat for it because it installed stuff that you did not want. It still happens today. Logitech installs their little keyboard and mouse controllers when you plug in the little RF transponder.
Yeah, I can't tell you how annoying that one is.
But it's annoying in the I'm here to help you way. This stuff, though, it's like I'm going to be annoying and install an antivirus. And never mind the fact that if you have an antivirus, now your system drags to its knees.
Mm.
2 antiviruses just kill performance.
Yep. Well, you talk about violating trust, right? Some of the things that were covered in this by Gamers Nexus and the community, people were
Mhm.
finding that monitors and TVs and all sorts of products from LG that they had previously bought years ago um, were installing this now. So something
Yep.
that they bought 3 years ago with the idea that it doesn't come with these pre-installed applications or any spyware or ads or anything. They're now being served ads on those same devices. Or those same devices, when they plug them into their computer, are now installing McAfee and asking them to if they want to join a free trial. And I mean, it's just installing all sorts of junk. And so if LG is allowed to partner with McAfee and then start serving essentially ads, because you bought a monitor of all things, what is stopping them or any other company from doing the same with any other person that wants to advertise?
I would hope Microsoft would step in and say, you've been trusted not to do this. You did this. The hardware installation shouldn't offer third-party advertising.
And I believe it goes against their own terms of service. But Microsoft is enabling it at the same time. So I think they need to do their own investigation to see exactly what it is that LG is violating here, because it does say in their terms of service that this kind of advertising or kind of spyware, that's not allowed.
Yeah.
And so Windows has put themselves in kind of a tricky situation as well, because this is a setting, the ability for you to plug in any device and have Windows Update automatically go and find drivers for it. It's more of a registry setting than it is an option, and like it's not something that a regular person could find very easily. Now there is a set of steps that you can do to follow to go turn off this setting that will prevent Windows from automatically installing these. But then you run into the issue, okay, now every time you plug something in, you're gonna have to go find a driver for it.
And that used to be how we had to do things.
Right.
Everything came with a little CD, and if you didn't have that CD, Mike, you remember when the CD-ROMs came with the CD-ROM with the drivers? That was hilarious. Yeah, they usually came with a floppy, and then Windows
Floppy disk.
allowed. Yeah, Windows allowed the operating system to at least low-level access it so that it could do what it needed to. It's really the getting the systems to read the hardware is one of the most difficult and challenging things for any manufacturer to do, because you don't know what everything is from a firmware level, from a software level, and how to make them talk. That's why I like the hardware abstraction layer that Windows put in. I love and hate it. There's no longer direct access to the sound card. But yeah, I would love to see Microsoft come out with a firm stance and say, this is for the original manufacturer to put in printer drivers or put in, I bought a new headset. Don't let it go third party, and certainly don't go advertising to the users and punish them for buying your hardware. Now, everybody should vote with their wallet on this one.
Well, hey,
Just
so
why not?
there's the thing though. How hard up is LG for money that they have to agree to, bundle in McAfee and advertise for this and that? Because they're not the only ones. Like, I think it's Adobe Reader. When you do the download for the free Adobe Reader, there's the option also install McAfee, try a 30-day thing. Like
Mhm.
that's an advertising. McAfee is paying money to get their name out there and to get themselves piggybacked into these installers. So how hard up is LG for money that they need to do that? I mean, you don't see everybody, Dell doesn't do that with their monitors. It's not yet. Other manufacturers, Samsung, et cetera, like they probably have their own things that they're doing, but not to that extent that there's like, to me, somebody who's offering McAfee is like begging for money, begging for some kind of revenue or something, because it's like, we can't just offer this for free out of our own goodwill. We got to make some money off it. So, hey, let's offer McAfee with it. I mean, but then you look at too LG, like LG got
Well,
out of the cell phone market some years ago,
Yeah.
because they weren't doing very good there. And so, I mean, do I really want an LG TV? Like, no, probably not. I mean,
well, that's the other thing too, though, is like there's they're saying if they're saying they're hard for money and that's why they're doing this. Forget the whole like whether or not it's even legal at this point.
right.
Um, it's a $1,200
Just
monitor.
that's the other thing. Flagship model, like if I'm paying that much money, I should expect it to not annoy the crap out of me.
Or to at least ask me if I want to install some third-party
Right.
software,
Now,
right?
if it was a bargain deal, like, hey, $100 for this 42-inch whatever, like, okay, then I can understand it, because yeah, I paid bargain bottom pricing for this thing, for the hardware and everything. They're going to make their money back by doing all the advertising and everything. I would understand that. But, you know, how big are these monitors? $1,200 for a monitor? Like, what
I've got
size?
I'm looking at a couple of the models here. I found some of the listings. By the way, it's the specifically the Ultra Gear line that this has been most seen with. But that it's not limited to this. There are other models that are also doing the same participating in the same activity. But some of the ones that I'm looking at are 27-inch, 34-inch. They're big monitors, and from what
$1,200.
from what people are saying is like the actual hardware is nice,
Are they
but
gaming monitors? Is that the idea?
I'm sure, yeah. I
Super
think they,
super high refresh rate.
It's
You
a,
know,
it's
240
definitely a
hertz.
game.
huge
It's
color
definitely a game,
palette,
Mike,
sharp.
and you're losing that game.
Oh,
You chose
Well,
poorly.
yeah.
well,
I mean,
and on the other side, when you talk about if you get it at a good bargain, then like okay, yeah, as long as you're aware of that, maybe it's worth it to you. Well, whether or not they wanted to, they've been forced into a bargain because as soon as everyone found out about this, these models that have been identified are as much as like half off, 60% off, because people
hmm,
aren't buying them anymore. Because I mean, the backlash is so apparent, but LG doesn't seem to really care.
No, they
And
will.
I mean, you would think they would, but I mean, obviously they've been getting this similar kind of backlash all the way back since like 2013. There
Well,
was,
that's the beauty
go
of
ahead.
where we're at with social media is this one just went big because it's gone through some third-party reviews, some empirical testing, proving, reproving, making sure that it really is this case, and it's gaining traction. If enough people stop buying it, it gets a 60% drop. You're going to have the investors screaming, "Fix this now!"
Right.
And
And
that's when
and
things change.
we hope that happens, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like I worry that again, like the word is not going to get out because again, it does all of this silently. If you aren't a techie person, you don't know what's going on. You might just start seeing these McAfee pop-ups happen, and the average person will just get annoyed and ignore them, or some of them might even fall into the trap and accept the trial, and then they get caught into this subscription. But I'm worried that the audiences that are seeing this are too small, and LG will continue to do this and all of this background activity because it's not limited to just these monitors. It goes out to their TVs, and they're expanding that in new ways as well.
So you heard him, folks. Jackson's doing a cry. Share this story. Send this podcast to everybody that you know, because this needs to get out. We've got to have as much awareness on this as possible.
I mean, it's bigger than just, going against a single company and against, their policies and practices. This really goes out to a whole legal sphere as well, because there are privacy concerns with, especially when you talk about what's going on with their TVs. A lot of their TVs now, probably all of them, I should say, their new smart TV updates are showing up pop-ups that are notifying the users that their voices could be recorded and sent back to their servers for processing to do better advertising and all the things that they like to do.
No, they're only putting that because they've been doing that and they just got caught in Texas.
Exactly.
So now they have to tell people, yeah, we've been doing this, but actually it's a new feature. This is where you want it. So just accept this and you can keep watching the TV you already bought.
Mm-hmm. And when the company has to release a public statement saying we're not violating any wiretapping laws, like, come on.
Yeah, I like that direction the conversation has gone, of if devices are listening to you in the house and you're not expecting it, it's a wiretap.
Right.
So I have something to add to the discussion with the McAfee thing. A little preamble for that. So back in the day when a theater company was doing poorly, they would always put on a popular play, usually a Shakespearean play, typically Macbeth. And the reason that saying Macbeth in a theater is considered bad luck is because of that. It meant that the company was doing poorly. These days, if a company seems to be doing poorly, they want to install McAfee. They could deal with McAfee. So it just feels like a nice merging of ideas that it seems similar. That's all.
McBethafee?
McAfee. It is the technological version of Macbeth.
Oh, well, it's ubiquitous. Everybody knows it. You might be right on that. Hey, Jackson, real quick, could you pull your microphone closer to you? We're getting a little bit of echo.
Yeah, no problem.
But anyway, definitely want to switch gears. Since we're talking about monitors listening to you and devices listening to you and wiretapping, you know what the output is to that input? Why would these devices listen to us?
No
wrong answer, because all of them are
know
true.
what we're doing. It's to know what we are thinking about.
Yep. So you've got this new technology that has just been discovered. It's starting to get widely known. It's called surveillance pricing. It is, you go buy an Uber, you get a price. Let's say, Jackson, you need an Uber from place to place. You're visiting Cheyenne and you jump on and you get from the Capitol to the train depot. It's 4 blocks. You should walk anyways, but whatever. Mike, you get the app out and you schedule an Uber also, same day, same time, scheduled in advance. You're almost guaranteed to not have the same price. So I want to give credit to YouTuber Chris, the producer is the name of the channel. He went through a lot of testing on these things. He did Uber. He bought Pampers from a grocery store. He said, I don't need Pampers, but hey, it's a thing. And they were charging people that needed them more money. People that didn't need them, less money. It's wrong on every level. The price should be the price. But on the other side, if somebody's willing to pay more, why not? We've seen this in all kinds of sectors. Like you've heard of luxury car tax. That's why premium gas costs more, because luxury cars use premium. Only rich people buy luxury cars. Luxury people don't care what the price is. They'll fill a car anyways. So let's put some more money on there. That's why in some places it's $1 more per gallon when it's effectively the same process out of the refinery. But surveillance price, when you're walking through a store, you see a price on a shelf. It's on a e-paper ticket. They'll change it. So you can buy it right there and go to the register right there. But if you use your membership card, it'll change that price for you at the register. But your membership card will give you a different price every time compared to other people. Could be 30 cents off, could be 60 cents off, could be what's marked.
So I guess my question is, with that example, right? When you have a listed price on like a shelf, if and you use your Walmart card, I assume you're only ever getting a discount, right? It won't ever raise price of something that is already listed. And I feel like if you do it that way, it's a little bit different, but it just means that everything's getting more expensive. And you, depending on what you are into and what you're doing, you might get a discount on some items where it's actually like more of a normal price.
You would think that. It's a game, and the whole algorithms out there, you know, that there's algorithms behind everything. There's what shows on YouTube, what shows on Facebook. It's all algorithmically driven. The algorithms that these companies are using identifies what is your willingness and ability to pay. Now, I invite you and all of our viewers to go check out that video. I'll look it up real fast while somebody's responding. But the people that can afford it are typically given a cheaper price.
Yeah,
It was
and that
weird.
it just seems so messed up to me. And I see like there's a challenge in doing that in the physical marketplace, like a grocery store. But it's something that we've been seeing for a longer time online, because online you're not having to advertise a price to, I mean, more often than not, more than one person. You have one user that you're advertising a price to. And when that's
Yep.
the case, it's very easy to um, price fix something based on a user. And it's actually, I think, more prevalent than what we might think, because I'm noticing that more and more people actually know about it and they're finding ways around it. Like my own family, that I wouldn't particularly say is very involved in technology, cybersecurity, and all this stuff. But I overheard them in a conversation talking about how they were looking for plane tickets, and they were asking me if I had a VPN to my apartment so they could check the prices for my house. And I was like, wait, you know about this? Like, you know how you can do that? And so people are already figuring out ways to check plane ticket prices based on from different locations. And I think it's very funny in a way, but it's also very sad that we've gotten to that point where your average person is starting to have to smarten up and figure out how to get around some of these price fixing methods.
Mm-hmm.
So Jackson,
Yeah, so
the plane thing,
go ahead.
that has been going on for as far back as I can remember with internet reservations of plane tickets.
Right. It's been going on for a long time.
Like you log into a website to look at prices, and it retains the knowledge in a cookie or on the site or wherever it decides to maintain the information. And if you go back and look at the tickets again later, many of the top like booking websites would have the price increased by like 10% since the last time you looked. So it was trying to entice you to buy your tickets, or it's going to get more expensive.
Right.
Hurry up and get it. They're going fast. There's 3 tickets left at this price.
Yeah. And it's bad business for the customers, but good business for them because they get more money.
So Progressive Insurance actually got caught doing this Some regulations came out saying you can't do this anymore. The idea is if you've got, Jackson, let's say you're looking for insurance. You're a good driver. We'll just say that. We'll make Mike the bad driver on this one.
Never been pulled over.
Don't say that. Don't jinx it. Don't feed the algorithm. So back in the day, they would take your driving record, and their idea was, give us your name, give us your info. We'll give you our quote, and we'll give you the 3 competitive quotes with the other companies like State Farm or whoever else. So you could look at their website, and without having a price shop, their website price shops for you. So it's one place to go to get the best price. They got caught manipulating that. So if you've got a bad driver, somebody who's going to be a risk, somebody who speeds all the time, somebody who could get into an accident, could be a problem, you want to de-incentivize them from joining Progressive Insurance. So Progressive would say, oh, look, Farmers Insurance is $200 cheaper than us. We'd love to save you money. If you want to get us, go for it. We'll take your money, but it's cheaper over there. So they weren't giving you the price. They were giving you your price to make you go to the competition because they don't want you as a bad driver.
Right.
Then all the other insurance companies got this idea, hey, we're going to do that too. And then they started going into all the driving records, trying to find out how to price it out so they're not the cheapest anymore. And yeah, it got bad.
Oh, that's so funny. Imagine trying to be that guy to buy insurance. You're like, well, Progressive said you guys were going to do $200.
Mhm.
You just keep bouncing back and forth between the two. Oh, and even just thinking about insurance gets me heated already. It's an annoying thing, especially for someone at my age. They just automatically assume you're a bad driver. They don't really care about your driving record. It's just age and sex. And if you got one or both of those against you, which I do, then your insurance is just high and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
You can blame the actuaries for that. You are in a high-risk demographic.
Yep.
So, Mike, what's your thoughts on surveillance pricing? Have you seen it? Have you touched it? Have you felt it?
I don't know that I've been directly affected by it that I know of. I know that going back to the advertising bit of it, I know that my cell phone or something in my house is listening to me. You know, we're talking about things and then, oh, look, hey, look at that. There's, 5 ads for that very thing that we were talking about. But as far as the pricing, I don't know, like I do my due diligence to do the shopping the best I can. Like I don't trust anybody's word. Like if the insurance company, we actually just recently did some insurance shopping. And I don't remember if they gave us any kind of quota like, the other leading insurance providers are charging this or that or whatever. But we did do our homework to ask directly each insurance company that we were looking at to say, okay, look, here's our situation. We got this many drivers, these vehicles, this situation. What's the price, for decent coverage, right? And we got our quotes back from each of them, and we made the decision based on what we felt was best for our situation. So I don't know that we were being, manipulated in any way.
You don't know, but you were.
We're definitely saving some money, and we don't really have any accidents, traffic tickets, anything to speak of that to go against us, so It's a pretty level playing field all the way across. There's not like any desire to say, oh, we want to push you off onto somebody else or anything like that. I mean, we do have a brand new driver, so there's always that. There's always the new driver within that first year or two that you gotta, kind of keep an eye on them because, they're still learning, and getting that experience. And so there's always a chance that something's going to happen. But, he's doing pretty good. And even my daughter, she wasn't on our insurance while she was living in Utah, but she did have an incident where her car got hit while being parked 2 times, 2 separate occasions. Like, was parked on the side of the one side takes it was parked on the side of the road, and I think it was bad snowy weather, and the person driving by must have slid into it or something. Drove away, didn't leave a note, no idea who did it, and everything, right? The second occasion was in a parking garage, and the person backed into her. May not have even realized that they hit the car or how much damage they did, but again, they didn't leave a note, drove away, no idea who did it. The problem was that the person that she was insured with had made the mistake of eliminating a portion of the insurance to save some money, like the collision damage, so that the car was not completely covered for incidents like that. And so now here we got this car that's dinged up, banged up. I mean, it still works, but it's a cosmetic thing, and nobody wants to buy a car that's already got a few dents and scratches in it, at least not for a decent price. So
I still want to buy trucks with the truck bed already beat up, so I'm not afraid to use it.
right.
But I digress.
So you look at the person who was insuring the car at the time, and the reason they had to bring that down and try to save some money was for the very fact that there was another driver on that plan that had, some traffic accidents, some tickets, some, things going against them that made the insurance expensive to begin with. And so I think it's really tough to. I get the insurance point of view. They're there to make money, and if they bring somebody on that's a high risk that they're constantly going to be paying out for their poor choices in driving or their bad driving skills, then that's kind of hard to make money that way. They make the money on the good drivers that don't have any kind of record or anything. So, I don't know, like translating that, like taking that and then translating it into like just at the shopping store where I'm buying Pampers or baby food or any other kind of a product, and the price is going to change based on my purchase history, like whether I've been talking about it. Oh, they must need a bunch of, they've got a baby. They are going to need some baby food, better jack up the price just a little bit because, you got to feed the baby. Nobody wants to see the baby go hungry. You got to change the diapers.
Maybe
Don't
start messing with it. Just like use different credit cards and stack up purchases. So you get like, dish soap, baby food, spark plugs, and maybe, just like dish towels or something, or laundry basket. Or
that's the thing, is that on the flip side, that if the consumer is really wise up to know all of the tricks, they're still going to make, like you talked about, they're like with the airline thing, they're going to do the things necessary to go find the best possible deal. So if you're going to jack your price up on me, and I know that that's what you're doing, I'm going to go shop elsewhere where they don't do that. Or I'm going to go just find whatever's the lower price. And the lowest price is going to win.
This guy, Chris, the producer, he bought a brand new track phone from Walmart as cheap as you could. And then he hired somebody to go around using it to create a persona of getting the cheapest deals possible just to see the results. Now, I'm not going to spoil it, but it definitely gave different pricing for this new person that he created, legally created, actually. That's a fun read. Used a loophole here in Wyoming for creating that account. That's all I'll say. Watch the video. Basically, he was able to game the system to get the best price because he created an account for that goal.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think my new strategy is going to be anytime I need something, I'm just going to talk about how much I hate that one thing, and I will only ever buy it unless I get a really good deal. And I can't tell you how much I just hate groceries, and I only ever buy groceries if they're the cheapest thing.
let me scare you a little bit. Although that works, there's a story. It's been verified. Again, I keep throwing back to this guy's video. Check it out. There was a woman who started getting ads on all her devices for baby products and bassinets and nursery equipment and all that stuff. Just started getting all that stuff. And she's like, why am I seeing this? I'm not expecting, I'm not planning on it. That's not in my future. And then 4 days later, she found out she was pregnant. So based on her purchasing behaviors leading up to that, they suspected she might be pregnant, and they were right.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I don't buy it. There's something she had to have leaked out that information-wise that was a dead giveaway. Has to be.
So one thing that I will add to this, and it's some good news, I believe the state of Massachusetts has already banned surveillance pricing legally.
Yes.
And I believe New York is looking at laws to ban it as well, which would be a big victory against it.
You know what I'd love to see? Ban our devices listening to us when we don't want them to.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. That would be absolutely wonderful. But I mean, how is the NSA going to spy on us if they can't listen in? I mean, think of Batman Begins. This was something that was considered so unethical that the guy that helped Batman create it tendered his resignation after learning about it. And it's become commonplace now.
Well, it was commonplace at the time that movie was made, but I digress on that.
Well, there was you bringing that up reminded me. As we were talking about all the things we're talking about today, especially with the TVs and the monitors, the only way you can really protect yourself from being tracked, at least to a certain amount. I mean, there's no way you can block all of it, but I mean, if you buy anything that connects to the internet that doesn't need to, like your TV, disconnect it from the internet. Disconnect from the internet. And on top of that, I would get some sort of an ad blocker for your entire network. Buy your own router. That's the other thing that network companies are doing nowadays. They always ship you out with their own router that doesn't allow you to block certain traffic because they're in all of this, and they're also doing their own sorts of advertising. So really the only way that you can even get some remote sense of privacy and blocking some of the methods of doing these price fixing, or what's the term for it, John? I keep calling it price fixing. It's different. Surveillance.
Really, it's just assigning a price to a person.
Yeah. Anyway, the only way to do that is to really control your own network and throw an ad blocker on that. And anyway, there's my
I'm going to
rant.
break into a subject we didn't discuss, but price fixing is more what the RAM manufacturers are getting sued for right now.
Oh my gosh. Everybody do your own research on this. I'm not going to post it on here because that changes the algorithm for us. Find a way to join that class. So the courts are right now weighing whether or not there should be a class. Put your name into that, because everybody that's bought RAM since, 2013, Artie?
I didn't see the specifics on that.
It's likely that you're going to get some compensation back. It'll be a check for $5, but it sends a message. Don't mess with people and their RAM.
Can't
Just
think that
don't mess with
last
products.
when I last
Don't
bought
price
RAM.
fix. There's a reason it's illegal.
I'm trying to think the last time I directly bought RAM specifically. Like I've bought devices with RAM in them, but I imagine that that'd be a harder thing to justify, right?
No, it doesn't. Because
I
the
mean,
device has
yeah.
RAM in it, it counts.
You count.
Yeah, but I got a great deal on the device,
Doesn't matter.
so
You could have got an even better deal if the RAM wasn't so exorbitant.
well, okay.
Just saying. I mean, don't shortchange it. If you put your name in there, great. Let that legal team that's going to cash in on this, they're going to pull in 40% of the take. Make them earn it. Send your data in. But seriously, get that in there. Everybody that's listening to this. While we've got a couple minutes left, I want to circle back to the PlayStation because we're in that interesting mode right now. PlayStation has said that they're not going to give physical media for games anymore. What an interesting choice that is.
I actually have an opinion on this that I feel like to me, I kind of don't care, honestly. And it's not because sorry. I think
You will.
I am in favor of the idea of having physical media and being able to own it. But where discs are currently, it's not that. Even if you purchase a disc that has the game on it, it still won't let you play it unless you connect to a server. And so for me, the disc is just as useless as just like an online purchase. The only exception, although even then I think they've still kind of ruined this, is if you lose access to, say, your Steam account, then you also lose access to however many games you had bought that's connected to that. However, if you have the disc, there's probably a way you can at least still have access to that. But in my opinion, when Sony says that they're no longer going to be making any PlayStation discs, like, I don't know if it makes a difference to me because I feel like the disc was already useless.
And that's a good perspective. The resale market goes away. So GameStop, there's no more GameStop selling games.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Third-party transactions. I can't give you a game, say, hey, I've played this one to death. It's yours. Have fun. I enjoyed it for 200 hours. It's yours. That's not possible anymore. Let me offer the thought that by shutting off third-party resale, you've gone to a monopoly.
Mhm.
You're the only place you can get this. And there's not good precedent being set by Epic Games and some of the other big players in the field right now. This is really a mistake on Sony's part, I think.
Okay, I take it back. You're right.
I would also add in that some European countries have already filed suit for monopolistic practices against Sony for this announcement because it creates one ecosystem that you can get it. And if you look at like Xbox, a lot of the Xbox games are also available on Windows. So even though the Xbox Store is its own thing, you can play it on a computer as well. So it's a different method, and you can get it through Steam or Epic because they like to share their games across platforms to maximize who gives them money.
I got to give kudos to Steam. They are really running their process the right way. And they're managing their billions of dollars they make in, I think, in an okay way. I'm cool with the guy buying more yachts because actually exploring and sharing that knowledge with the world.
At the same time,
that's where
there are places that are doing antitrust legislation or antitrust lawsuits against Steam because they feel that they are a monopoly.
Well, they kind of are, but they're not exercising the powers that a monopoly, the antitrust laws are written for. They have the potential, but they're not.
Yeah,
I really like that one interview. I think it was from a long time ago with the CEO, and it was just a little snippet. And he says, we see piracy like that's not it's not an important issue for us because piracy is a result of bad service.
Yeah.
And I felt like, I was like, okay, yeah, that he's got the right mindset. Like that's someone that is going to try to give you the best service because he wants to give you the your money's worth, basically.
I
But
like that.
that's yeah.
That's the spirit of the free market right there. You've got somebody who says, if we're doing our job right, you're spending money with us.
hmm
If we're doing our job wrong, you're stealing it from us.
And that's our fault, right?
Yeah, and let me just under my breath mention MP3s. Just saying. So your customers, see how that ends up. Mike, you remember the day where they were suing the grandmothers for hosting their teenage grandkids game or MP3s. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars judgment against them.
Yeah, that's
And the
Unforgivable.
irony of that is that because of all of that, it made more people say, I don't want to give my money to these people. And they turned to acquiring it through other means.
I'm of the opinion, guys, that you give me a platform, you give me a monthly fee, and I choose to get in, and I've got access to all the stuff I want, like Netflix did at the beginning. I'm in. Take my money, please. Like, I can watch whatever movie I want. I'm in. Now, when you start pulling those off and saying, now you got to switch to this streaming service. Now you can't watch Star Trek. It's over here on this other one. Oh, not this month. It's now on that other third one.
Mhm.
And you lost me.
well, and then there goes the advertising again because we started out with, Netflix and Hulu and whatever. We used to be able to watch a movie like a movie straight through, no ads or anything. Now at the tier that we're paying for, no, there's got to be 3 or 4 ads during the movie. You want no ads? Oh, you got to upgrade, pay the extra money.
You
You
still get
know,
ads.
and it's kind of driving us nuts because they're gonna raise the price anyway. We're definitely not paying right now what we were paying when we first signed up. So the price has already been raised, but the quality of service has gone down, and they're trying to
Yeah.
force us into an even higher tier. And like, I don't know, it goes into like all the data centers and everything. Yeah, they need to pay for more servers and more infrastructure to host all the stuff that we all want to watch. More movies keep coming out. They have to, but at the same time, I don't know, like, I don't I don't find myself on wanting to watch all the cutting edge new stuff all the time. I have a very select, limited idea of the things I like to watch. Not everything that Netflix comes out with, it's a Netflix produced movie or TV show or anything, is going to appeal to me.
Mhm.
So there's got to be some way that I can be the guy who pays my monthly subscription and I get the things that I want. Otherwise, to me, it's like it's turning into like the cable and satellite offerings. Whereas like to have cable, well, you have to subscribe to the 432 channels that we offer in this package, but I only want to watch 5. Well,
Mhm.
that's too bad because we don't offer a 5-channel selection. You have to subscribe to the 432 channels that are in this package and pay the price for the 432 channels.
Yeah,
And that was the
known
whole
fact.
reason. That was the whole reason we got into streaming, was because we didn't have to do that. We could
Mhm.
pick and choose what we wanted to watch for a low monthly price.
Little known fact, back in the day, you could pick one of those premium channels, let's say golf. Not that that's my thing, but you could pick the golf channel and pay the cable company to put the golf, even though it's not in the basic package, you could add it. It costs more, but then you're not paying for the whole package deal to get, 432 channels you don't watch.
I'll say, as we've been talking about this, I am reminded of a mindset change that I had like recently. Um, because when I go to purchase a game on Steam now, I am no longer thinking about, is the money that I'm going to pay for this game, is the game worth that, right?
Yeah.
I now am thinking about it is like, is the amount of time I'll spend on that game and the experience, is that worth the money?
Yes.
Because once I've bought it, it's useless in that sense. Like I cannot resell it, I cannot gift it. I don't own it, and so Sony making this move actually pushes you into the same. I mean, pushes everyone now into that same spot where if you want to buy a game, it's no longer like quote unquote an investment where at a later point you could sell it at a depreciated value. Like it's just you pay the money for an experience, and that's it.
One thing that
Well, and they,
I've noticed with Steam lately that I'm actually really happy about. For the longest time, demos disappeared. And now a lot of games are releasing, like first chapter of the thing as the demo, so that if you
Mhm.
like it, you can buy the rest of the game. And
Right.
I'm noticing that a lot of the smaller creators are doing stuff like that. The AAA places, they don't like putting out the demos because if the game sucks in the demo, nobody's going to buy it.
I remember the day of demos where you would get a CD like Quake.
Mm-hmm.
That one was cool. You buy the disc. It's a shareware disc for $5. That's right. You used to buy shareware for like $3 or $5 from the computer store. And
Or
if you like it,
download it for free.
you pay money
I mean,
for it.
there's a
Yeah.
way to. Yeah.
I actually have a
But the
copy of
Quake
that on
disc,
my computer.
the Quake
Quake.
disc actually had the whole game on it. So you just pay them money and they send you an unlock code to get in. Now that's easily crackable, and that was widely hacked. I got the full game for $5, is what the pirates said. Okay, but you still had a physical disc that you could hand off to somebody, and it's just $5. You owned the game because you unlocked it on your system. You don't need the disc to play it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a brilliant idea of shareware. Just try it before you buy.
Like WinRare.
They celebrate dramatically when you buy a copy of that. Somebody actually bought one last week. Anyways, you have to see the meme. Well, we're kind of low on time. I definitely want to talk about Linus Torvald just embraced AI as a tool. He said vibe coding with AI is just an enhancement and a productivity increase. It shouldn't replace us, but you as a coder should be able to use this AI to write 1,000 lines of code fast and then integrate that in with your project. It's faster than writing everything by hand. And the world has lost its mind on this. Everybody's saying that he's abandoning the true diehard coders and not giving respect to people who know how to code. And it's like, no, that's not it. We're using AI to do what AI is good at, and we're letting coders do what they're good at. It's just an enhancing tool.
I can
Yeah.
totally get behind that.
I think for anything besides like critical infrastructure or, I mean, systems that need to be thoroughly vetted, vibe coding can be honestly really great. I've seen it and it's getting better and better by the week. I just this week I saw someone who over the span of a week completely vibe coded an entire like manufacturing hub for a lab. And so they've got, they can take pictures, they can annotate, they've got it communicating to a server. I was pretty impressed. Now I don't know the extent of, how buggy it is, kind of some of the issues that they might run into. But for something that for them wasn't necessarily critical infrastructure, in a way, I think they have some security concerns, and that's where I advise them like, okay, well, you should be careful about certain security things because you just can't attest to it when it's vibe coded. But we talked about this several weeks ago about how we're getting to the point where people can create their own environments. I'm starting to see it, and it's honestly pretty exciting to see that, hey, you need an application that does a specific thing for you. Well, give it a week and some vibe coding, and you can have a pretty professional looking piece of software.
You know
And
what I
that's-
think? I think that this whole thing of AI, in the proper use of AI, and I kind of noticed myself doing this. I've been working on a project the last couple of days for something an enhancement on a thing I've been working on. I think Star Trek: The Next Generation, I think, taught us some key elements. It's subtle about how to use AI. You got to look at some of the episodes where the main characters, the computer doesn't solve everything, and even Data himself doesn't necessarily solve everything right off the bat. And what it is the way we use AI. There are people that'll go out there and they'll tell AI to just do something for them, and it'll do it, and it'll probably have a bunch of bugs in it, and it probably won't do everything exactly the way that it needs to be done. Have a conversation. Treat AI as a tool, and then you're having a conversation with it. I noticed in like some of the things I've been doing, challenge it, like it comes out and gives you an answer and says, yeah, I use this piece of code right here, and this is how you're going to want to do this, and we could set it up like that. And if you are intelligent enough as a coder to look through that and understand it and know what's going on, then you'll see that maybe it's not doing something right, and you can challenge it. And I did that. I challenged the AI to say, look, that's great, but I think I want to do it more like this. Or I think we should hold back on doing that until we've got this part solved first. And of course, AI, being a people pleaser that is, like, yeah, absolutely, we can do that. That's a good path. That's a good approach and everything. And then as the AI goes down that path, it says, and because you've chosen to do it this way, we can also keep it from doing this, 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 and this. Like, it sees the benefit of what I was thinking. So the idea is that you are still the main person in charge. Be in control the project, be in control. Don't let AI control you. Have a conversation with it, use it as a tool. I think Linus sees the writing on the wall, that he probably doesn't want to ban the hard code coders and everything. They've done a lot to contribute over the years to the project. But at the same time, the people that are up and coming are using AI.
Yeah.
And they are going to be tremendously more efficient than just doing it by yourself. And in order for the project to keep up with the rest of the world, it's got to be embraced. It's got to be used. I mean, there's no way around it. You can, you can go and do it on your own, but somebody else is going to beat you to finish the project by using AI.
Yeah.
I tell my son that because he does not want to use AI at all to help him code. It's like, that's admirable. I appreciate you doing that.
Use it as a teacher then.
Yes.
Well, he won't even do that. He'll research things on his own. He's pretty headstrong on this. And I told him, look, you got to have it write 10 lines of code for you, and then you go back and proofread it. You have to have it run 150 lines of code, and you go fix it. Learn the skills to manage it, and then you're in charge of it.
Yeah. And that's the trick. Be in charge of it.
Yeah. It's very easy, and because all of these LLMs are people pleasers, it's very easy for them to run away with something. You ask it one thing and it says, "Oh, well, here, I did all this for you," and then you're like, and it's very easy to just be like, "Okay, cool, copy that and paste," and then if you continuously do that, it can really get away from you. And so if you craft your experience in the right way, kind of like Mike was saying, if you do it just right and you say, listen, I want you to help me a little bit at a time so that way I can keep up with you, and proofread and check and fix things, and provide that guiding, um, that those guiding instructions, then I think you can be actually a really powerful vibe coder. But at that point, I would say you're less of a vibe coding. It's more of just a tool, right? Because I feel like vibe coding is
And
on that
that's
far end where it's like you just give it all to the AI and
Yeah.
you're just speaking to it, right? And describing things of what you want. So I think you have to find that, I mean, depending on what the project is, right? If it's a not high security, like, if it's just a whatever project that you want a tool for, yeah, absolutely go the vibe coding route. If it's something that you are, you want to have a little more control over and it would be important for it to be high quality, you don't want a lot of bugs, then I would say, come back a little bit, craft that experience with the LLM. And then on the other far end where you're just using it strictly as like a teacher, I think that's extremely beneficial for bettering yourself as a coder, instead of just trying to quickly solve a problem, because you're forcing it to suggest things and you have to really go through and think about it and figure out how you're going to implement that.
So I've heard both of you mention that we should use AI to help us teach. Let me change your mind completely on that. I want a raw response when I say there's a school on the East Coast that is putting an AI-powered robot in as the teacher.
Somebody still needs to oversee that to make sure that
Is this
They
the
got a human in the room, too.
controversial teacher?
to moderate that.
Like
A
the
human
very
being still
controversial
needs to
teacher?
moderate that.
The pilot program for a school district, Becky. So I don't want to misrepresent it. We're going to pull up some more news. We'll talk about this next time, but AI can help. I don't think it should teach a classroom, though. The human condition is an important thing for us. Just to wrap this up, we should celebrate the human condition. We should augment it with tools to do performance enhancing on our coding, on our recipes, on our whatever, our day-to-day life. We shouldn't use it to replace humans. That'll be I can't think of what else to say. People first. Until next time, I'm John.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jackson.
I am Mike Wazowski.
Pre-show is still stuck in my head. We'll talk to you later.